Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with Golden Globe nominee Fantasia Barrino, who plays Celie in The Color Purple. First of all, Fantasia, how does that sound? Golden Globe nominee Fantasia Barrino.
Did you see my face when you said it? I was just kind of like, oh my God. Um, I still can't believe it. I can't believe it. I never knew, I never knew, I never knew, I never knew. When they asked me to play Celie, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. Are you okay with that?
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay. When they asked me to play Celie this time around, I don't know if it was a hard no, and Scott Sanders was like, well, it felt like one. But I was like, you got to give me some time because when I left Broadway, which was years ago, I think that was in 2007, I had did interviews and I said I would never go back. I did. And I meant that. I said, I'm never going back. It was very, very hard for me. I was so young. My life was all over the place. I did not have the team and the people that I have now, the mindset. So I felt like I was carrying my cross and Celie's cross. And that was heavy.
Yeah.
That was heavy. Um, as a matter of fact, The Color Purple was the first Broadway show I had ever attended, ever seen. I'm from High Point, North Carolina. We don't get Broadway shows. And so um, I feel like I didn't even have time to understand the character, to enjoy it. I didn't know how to come out of character. I went home with Celie, woke up Celie, um, and she did not have an imagination on Broadway. So that was hard. You see her go through, go through, go through, go through, and then here comes I'm here. And of course, the crowd is excited because they want to see her win, but they're like, but how the heck did she even get there?
Yeah.
So when Scott called me, I said, Scott, I'm not sure. I need to pray about it because if I'm going to step into it, I got to step into it. And all I can remember was that was not easy. And then the director, my amazing director, shout outs to my director. I would love to do more movies and I wish I could take him on every movie set that I go on because he trusted us and he allowed us to step into the roles and explore the way we felt like the way we felt. He called and said, I want to show you something. Called on Zoom. And remember, this is around the time when we first started even talking about The Color Purple. That was around COVID time. So everybody was still in the house. And he says, I want you to get on Zoom. And he had sketched out everything. And he sketched it out and put voices to it. And he showed it to me on Zoom and he says, I'm going to give Celie an imagination. And I remember saying, like, where'd you come from? How'd you think about that? Like, what you gotta explain more, explain. And he says, Fantasia, my mother is Celie. And I knew then, I said, okay, this is going to be different because this means something to him. And basically, what he was saying, and basically what I know is every person that goes through anything traumatic, they have an imagination. We don't just wallow in that. You go through something, you don't just you're doing a pose right now that even gives me a reason to believe that you don't just sit in your stuff. You can figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we do in life. We ain't got no money. We imagine ourselves with loose money. We're in bad relationships. We imagine ourselves in better. And so I told him then I'm in. Now I knew that that wasn't going to be easy. I knew that that was going to be taxing. It's blood work. You're stepping over into our ancestors. I'm going back to some stuff that I had left behind. Keeping it real, I had just started traumatic therapy. I had literally just started. Now, I don't know if you know what traumatic therapy is, but they basically go back into your childhood.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. and they start working on things that you've either forgotten, suppressed, that is hindering you from your adulthood. I wanted to work on that just because I'm not the same Tasia. I'm married now. I have 3 kids, a bonus son who's 27, 2 grandbabies, 2 dogs. So I'm not the same Tasia. And I wanted to work on certain things so that I could be a better wife, better mother, better businesswoman, um, and so on. And so I literally had to stop my therapy with my life coach, Dr. Anita Phillips, who's amazing. And I had to allow Celie to be my life coach. So I knew that wasn't gonna be easy.
You
Yeah.
mentioned being a new Tasia. You won American Idol in 2004, and that launched this tremendous music career. It was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But now, like Celie says, I'm here, you're here. When you look back at that, does that feel like yesterday, or does that feel like was that even my lifetime? I mean, how much, because you've gone through so much since then. That 19-year-old had no idea what was about to happen.
No idea. No, it don't feel like yesterday. Like some of the stuff I forget. Like people will mention certain things and I'm like, I went through that. I made it through that. Um, that was a long journey. And just so this interview can be as dope as you want it to be, if you Google, or I could either send it to you, and it's on my page. I call them angels on earth, prophets, men and women of God. As you know, I am a PK. I grew up in church. But there was an angel who's been placed here on earth by the name of Bishop Bloomer, who spoke into my life. What was this? 20 what, Trav? 7? 20. It was right before Color Purple. Um, and he had told me, he says, you're about to go through some stuff.
Hmm.
And he said, and it's going to be dark, it's going to be heavy, there's going to be a lot of rainy days. But if you make it through, if you hang on in there, he said, your latter days will be better than your beginning. Now at the time, I'm like, I don't know what you talking about, the latter days. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just give it to me raw, buddy. What am I about to go through and why? And that was the younger Tasia. There was literally almost 17, what year? 2008. Okay. Dang. So when did I do Color Purple? Check that. Okay. So there were literally years, and it's 2023. That was 2008. Bro, it was years and years of a fight, years of showing up and they not having my money, and I would still go out and do shows. Years of backlash, years of bad relationships, years of bad partners coming into my life saying they loved me and they were taking care of me and they were handling my money, and I'm losing and I'm losing and I'm losing and I'm losing. Years. I had to play Celie because we relate. I never gave up and I never gave in. So when Scott called, I was like, Scott, I'm not sure. But when Blitz came in and said, let's give the imagination, I was like, yeah, because I need to show people like this is how I got here. This her role, see these characters, that she is every woman, every man, black, white, young, and old. Somebody can relate to Celie or Sophia, Suge Avery, Mr. Oh Mr. Hoppo. We all can watch this movie and relate. And the thing that I love about it, thank you, Lord, is it ain't just trauma, 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 trauma. It's trauma, but so much joy in it,
Yeah.
so much laughter in it. And that's how we get through every day. Life be life in. That's
And
how we do.
Blitz presented this new Celie to you, but it has a powerful history still. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg became a star in this first film. The book has touched so many people. It's
Yeah.
your first movie. So there had to be still some part of you that was a little intimidated. I mean, what was it like
Yeah.
stepping into this film role?
Some part of me that was a little intimidated or everything. Um, Listen, I'm going on set with Taraji P. Henson, Coleman, Danielle Brooks, Corey Hawkins, Lou Gossett, um, I forget Ingenue, um, Tamala Mann, David Allen Greer, A-listers. Okay, that was terrifying because I'm thinking, why do they think I can even stand up here with them? Like, what is going on? And at the same time, the most terrifying piece is, can I handle the feelings and the outer body experiences and I did my own stunts. And Coleman didn't want me to. He was like, nope, she can't do it. I was like, Coleman, I have to. He was like, nah. Mm-mm. He finally put me to the side and he was like, why do you want to do this? And at the time, I didn't tell him about the switch off of letting go of my life coach and allowing Celie to be my life coach. But I told him, I said, I have to do this for me, Coleman. This is a part of my healing. Let me do it. He said, you promise you won't get hurt? I said, I promise. So in that scene where he smacks me down, that's me. There is no stunt double coming in. And they had one on set. She was there. And I went to her and I said, I want to apologize. I know you're great at what you do and you're here. But do you mind? I have to do it myself. So, I was terrified to step back into that place. That was 6 months.
Hmm.
6 months of traumatic situations, bringing back things in my life or my grandmother's and my mother's. My grandmother who gone home to be with the Lord, she was our Celie. So I was tapping back into certain things. 6 months. Having to learn how to tap dance. I ain't never tap danced a day in my life, bro. But I knew that I had to put fear in the trunk and still drive the car. I kept it with me, but I didn't allow it to drive the car, nor did I allow it to be my passenger. I put it in the trunk, and I said, this is something that I have to do.
Did you have a favorite scene to shoot? Like, I mean, there's so many great ones to choose from, but what was the most fun, the most uplifting?
Miss Celie's pants, which is where I had to learn how to tap dance.
Okay.
Yeah, that was joy. That was joy. That's that moment in our life, and that Celie fought for, that I fought for, that most people that's gonna go see this movie, they fight for. There is a dancing moment. There's a moment where your feet can actually move freely, your hands can go up. Miss Celie does this big smile at the end. I remember watching it at the premiere. She does this big smile at the end. It's huge. It's a Kool-Aid smile. And she lets laughter out. And to me, that was beautiful. I don't even remember that happening. Like we all watched it, and Taraji was like, in one scene when she puts the dress up on me to tell me she's invited her, she says like something happens with her hand. She's like, I can't even do that now if I wanted to. So that laughter and that big smile, I don't remember it, but I remember sitting in the theater going, go ahead, Miss Celie. Yeah.
I love those fantasy moments with and one with you and Taraji singing on that phonograph. That was a beautiful performance. And sort of this fantasy of a set design.
Yeah.
I spoke with the production designer and Blitz about that as well. What was that like to just be sort of this woman who's been beaten down all her life and have that moment where she shines like a star up there?
Well, first of all, you do know that was they literally built a life size. Okay. It was a
Yes.
real, which I thought I was amazed and very surprised that they built something like that. And the fact that before they yell action, I remember stepping up there, and I'm a music baby. So to be on a real live record that huge, um, that was special. But they had a shout out to our lighting guy, Dan. They had this beautiful light shining through a window onto the record, and this beautiful bathtub. And I remember when they yell action, of course, it's no longer me, it's Celie. And it was that first breakthrough for Celie of feeling like there's someone here in my presence that sees me. Even though Suge did it in a way of, what fix my thing and fix mine. Somebody come in here and she was not calling Mister. She wasn't she was not telling him to come fix the gramophone and play the music. And she wanted me to do it. When she first reaches the house and falls into my arms and Mister's arms, there's this feeling from the character of Celie that feels there's someone in the house that sees me. And so when she goes into her imagination, it's that moment of there's a celebrity in the house. It's that little pinch of Celie feeling like I'm hanging out with a celebrity. The whole town is talking about her. The whole entire time. They're Suge, Avery, come to town. Everybody wants to be in her presence, or even the haters that was talking. They still want to meet her. They still want to, and that is a moment for Celie by herself, alone with her in her nakedness, washing her body. To wash someone's body, to I come from church, and they used to say to wash someone's feet. That's sacred. So that was a beautiful, sacred moment for Celie, where she felt seen and she felt like somebody on a record player, a real life record player, that made her feel like the star. It was like the roles reversed. Yeah.
Yeah. When you do this on Broadway, you get there on the night, you bang it out, and it's done. The film process over and over. I spoke to Blitz and I said, "How bad did you torture this woman? Making her sing 'I'm Here' how many times? And how did and he said, when you have Fantasia, you don't dub her. So you had to sing it live over and over and over again. How did you even not lose your voice in this filming process?"
Did he tell you how many times I did it?
He didn't say exactly, but you know.
I think it was about 86.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Um, um, Another one of those out of body experiences. I think back on that time, Hallie and Felicia drove an hour and a half to come and watch me. They were not filming. Um, it was so cold outside, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning. And they drove to come watch me sing it. The dancers drove, they were on set. And shout outs to one of our camera guys. I can't think of his last name. His name was Tim, though. I called him T. He became my friend on set. They all would come up to me and tell me why they even came, what certain parts of the song did to them. So I knew that it was a ministry and it was bigger than me. It was hard as hell, but it was bigger than me. I was numb, buddy.
Hmm. Do
Completely
you have
numb.
do you have to shift up? You're a soul singer. You come from gospel music. There's musical theater artists that sing a different way. So when you're injecting yourself into a musical, are you preserving your
So,
style, or do you have to shift at all, or are you just like, this is how I sing and this is how we're gonna do it?
yeah, that's all I know. That was at the age of 5. I'm a soul singer. So that's all I know. But again, what connects with me is lives and testimonies, and the fact that they were saying that they were being blessed by certain parts of the song, or driving an hour and a half to come see it in the cold, the freezing cold at 4 o'clock in the morning. That moves my soul. That's how I do shows and I lose myself. I come off stage, I'm totally drenched, I'm completely tired, but there's somebody in the audience that I connect with. Somebody's being blessed, somebody's being healed. So therefore, my soul is like moved by that. It's like a high, a natural high. Like I don't have to take nothing, I don't have to drink nothing, I don't have to I'm getting my that high from knowing that I've connected with another soul. I've ministered to a person or a person is healed by what I'm singing or saying through the song. So that's how I made it through.
And then just a final question. The film is released December 25th, but it's had its premiere. There's been some screenings. I was lucky enough to attend one, and the audience reaction. I mean, this movie took forever, it felt like, to come out, finally. And now the audience is seeing it, and they're hooting and hollering and applauding through the musical numbers and crying and laughing. You finally get that audience response. What has that been like to witness?
Well, I got to see it just once the other night at the premiere. Oh, I don't even know if I remember, like, were you sitting by me? I don't know if I even remember, buddy. All I remember was so before I went into the movie, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch the movie and pretend I'm not me and not critique because we can critique ourselves and we can be sitting in there like, right? But I was like, I'm gonna watch the movie for the first time and pretend I'm not me. And there was one point in the movie where Celie, she looks right inside of the camera and says, I'm beautiful. Like that was not a blitz thing. That was not a me saying, I'm going to look in the camera, right? It just, I guess, just happened that way. And I remember at that point, I heard nothing. Like everybody got quiet. And in that moment, I felt like they forgot. They didn't even see Celie. They saw themselves. It was that one moment where they were like, yeah, I am. I'm beautiful. Um, so that was dope for me. That was dope. It was dope.
Well, congratulations on the
Thank
Golden Globe nomination and the film, and everyone else who's watching. The film comes out on December 25th. What a great day for it to be released, this movie. And good luck to you with the rest of the awards season, and congratulations on everything.
thank you so much. God bless you and happy holidays.